everyone, I'm just going to show you a quick flick through for my Zentangle Inktober contribution. I made a little kit for my book where I've done little pads. So the first page I've written down all of the tangles that were chosen, so we've got numbers 1 to 31 for each day of the month, and then I've gone through for the first few days I've actually doubled up, so I've got days 1 and 2 with Muka and Yar, and then 3 and 4 Janelli and Facets. This one here I really did enjoy doing because the shading makes such a difference. Date 5 and 6, I've got Fleavy and Pays, and I actually mix them together on this one, even though normally these ones would actually be together, and I think it actually works quite well. Days 7 and 8 were Onion Drops, Cockles and Mussels. Cockles and Mussels is very much like in Zeppel for me. It's sort of my go-to tangle, so I quite enjoy putting these in. Right, the next page is actually day 9, so I've now gone down to doing individual ones. So the tangle of the day was Feebar, which is this one here, and then I decided to go really intense and put Betwined by Peggy behind it, and I have to say that I really thoroughly enjoyed doing this particular tangle. It's very, very in-depth, but it is actually it's quite a stunning tangle when you get down to it. Let me see if I can make that a little bit closer. And again, with the shading on this one, it really does make it look like everything is under, over, under, over. Really enjoyed that one. Definitely something that you can spend 20 minutes doing, concentrating on, and just escaping from the world, really. Day 5. Now, this was Says. I've done this as like a 3Z tangle, a tile, beg your pardon, and then I've put others around it. It's not one that I would normally use, so I did have to actually go back and look at this one, but I quite enjoy it. Day 11, Copida. Now, I've done this sort of like a mandala style, and each concentric circle is the same tangle, but I've just finished the insides differently. So I've got sort of flowers here, stripes here, and I've just gone through like doing it that way, and I did actually enjoy it. Now, Heartswell, another tangle I've not really done very much of, but I have to say that putting that red pencil in really made a difference on that one. I quite enjoyed that as well. Page day 13 is Dude. Now this is a tangle that I've only done straight before, so I decided to mix it up and do it in a round fashion. It did take a little bit of thinking, and I had to go one way then the other way, but I think it came out okay. And then day 14, Ando. This really was something that I enjoyed. Again, just another mono tangle, and it just goes to show how one tangle can actually make so much of an impact. Really surprised, and that's definitely going to go into my bank for using in the future. Day 15, Inner Pod. Now that's another one of my go-to tangles, although I've never tried it with Facet before by Lynn Mead, and I think they go quite well together. It's almost like they're sitting on top of a mat underneath. Day 16, Yoki. I've actually done this sort of with an underwater sea type theme with Featherfall, Zinger and Roxy as well. So you've got Jokey here, and here, and then you've got the Zinger, Featherfall, and then you've got the Roxy with the tipple in between. Quite enjoyed that one as well. Day 17, Narwhal. Wow, this is not one that I would say is my favourite, and I actually had to do quite a few on other tiles as well to get this one the way that I liked it. It's not the way I would normally lay out a tile, but now I've got more of an understanding with it. It's something that I definitely feel I would need to look at learning more about. Day 18, Lover. Great tangle, really like that. It's one that I use quite often, and I just thought by putting it in a heart shape seemed quite appropriate. Day 19, Abeko. This is one, again, I've only ever done straight, so I decided to do it in a sort of square type fashion and make the tops look a little bit like rosebuds, and I did quite enjoy that one. Day 20, W2 and Shattuck. Both of these are my go-to tangles as well, so I quite enjoyed putting those two together, and the shading really does make a difference on this one. Day 21, Hammerdocks. Now, this is one I've done before, but I decided to do it slightly different. I had the image of the Russian stacking dolls, where you have the big one and then you have the next one down sitting inside, and then follow on till you get to a really tiny one. So I thought I would do them in that sort of fashion, and I quite enjoyed it, but it did take a little bit of thinking about. Day 22 is Yuma. Now, this is not one that I have done before. It's one that I did really have to sit back, look at the step out for, and think about what I was doing. I do enjoy the finished effect, but it's not one that I would go to when I'm not thinking. It's one that I would need to think about each time I use it. And then I've just put, as usual, my favourite Zentangle around the sides of it. Day 23, Ixorus in the centre, and then Me Too around the outside. Me Too became one of my favourite ones in the last sort of year or so. Again, very much like the Zentangle go-to without having much thought, and I quite enjoy using that. Day 4 was Patience, which is probably not my strong point, and this one really did live up to its name. It required an awful lot of patience. Now, when you look at the finished picture, it actually doesn't look like it requires a lot of patience, but I can assure you it does. It's one I will definitely use again, but when I want to escape. In the centre, I've got the Onomatau, and then I've got Marisu, which again is another one of my go-to tangles, although this one I've put some brown in. Day 25 is Sandswell, which I've done around the outsides, and then in the centre I've done Finery. Day 26. Now, the actual tangle for day 26 was Q-Bell, but I unfortunately misread it, and I found a tangle called Bell, which I have to say I actually really like. It's one I will use again. So apologies for not having Q-Bell there. Day 27, Cross Your Heart. I've done this. This is Cross Your Heart, the one here in the centre. I decided to add an outside mandala to it as well. Day 28, which is Obey. Now, I've got that around the outside, and then I've got Showgirl in the inside. Day 29 is Wood, or Wood, which is around the outside here. Again, I've put some brown in, and then I've put Mary Hill in the centre. Day 30 is Frankie, which is this one here. Now, I've not used this one before, but it did give me a sort of rocking at sea type theme, which I quite enjoy. Then I've got V-line down this side, and then I've just actually put one of my own, with just sort of eye-shaped tangles here, and then I've just put whatever came to my head with a little bit of betweed in the middle of it. And then finally, we've got day 31, Cruffle, which I've done around the outside, and then again, Shattuck, and then I've got Tadar in the centre. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will be looking forward to showing you my second one shortly. Thanks very much. Bye.